Hey, we already got a thumbs up. Hey, good evening, good
Woo, woo.
afternoon, good night. You know what time it
Yes.
is. That's because you are here and you're good at reading time. As you all know, where Ron is pointing, we are the Melanated Council, as you can see in the title here. And we stream every other Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. I understand it's not exactly 9, but we are in the hour of 9, which counts. With
Mm-hmm.
that, we would love it if y'all would like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so y'all know when we go live. So you're not just out here guessing, on like a Saturday morning wondering why we aren't live. And it's because that's not when we stream. But you'll know when we stream when you get that notification. I just got my notification
Mm-hmm.
on my phone because I know when we stream. Now I know. So now I know to be live on the stream that I am hosting. So,
I got the same one too, y'all. So she ain't playing. I
yeah.
saw it. It just popped up.
Hey.
So yes.
hey.
Yes.
Hey, Gail. Hey, Chad. How's it
Happy
going? How's it
Tuesday.
going? My
Don't
passions
forget
are
your tacos
taking
either. It's happy.
Hey, my passions are taking ideas from my head and bringing them into existence from photography to set design. I feel you. I absolutely feel
Mm-hmm.
you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so as y'all can already tell from our title, what are you passionate about? No, your love for. What is it? Sorry? I am space braining right now. I am sorry.
Hold on. I got you. I got you. Do
Yeah.
you love your passions? Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Because, yeah. Do you love your passions? Thank you. I am passionate about forgetting the name of our stream. So I'm already no. No. I
Well,
love forgetting. Makes me look so professional. Like we haven't been doing this for nearly 4 years.
hey, I mean, we're supposed to be bringing something new, fresh, and funky every year. So here you go. We just forget our title. We're good.
Exactly.
Don't even worry
Yeah.
about it. We're good.
No. Yeah. Today has just been a weird day for me. Like, I usually wear like a bracelet, and I totally forgot it until like way late in the day at work. I
Hmm.
was like, wait a second, where's my bracelet? I was like looking around for it. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, there's no way I forgot it. I
Oh wow.
totally had it today. And then I come home and I see it on my dresser. So, no, I did not have it today. Like, I don't know, had a very weird space cadet day. I don't know. I guess like Mercury is in Gatorade.
Hmm.
Eh, but yeah. So
It's in Gatorade.
yes. Don't drink the Gatorade.
Hey, there
No.
you go. Stay
Yeah.
away from the Gatorade. It's poisoned.
Yes. Because they were founded at University of Florida, which is our enemy. So
Mm, that's true. That is true.
yes.
That's true. I forgot about that. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So as y'all know, like every month, we pick a topic, and we like to talk, and we talk about different topics within that topic. So this month's was about love. It's February, Valentine's Day, Black History Month. You should love Black History Month and Black people. It's probably why you're, watching us. Um, it'd be weird if you're watching us and you hate Black people, but we've had those commenters too, which is like, why? Like, do something better
Yeah.
with with your time. So this tonight we're talking about passions, like your love for passions, and you know,
Hmm.
I I'm excited for tonight's topic because I feel like passions isn't really something that gets brought up enough in terms of like
Hmm.
its relation to love. Usually, when you think about love, it's always relationships or family or friends or um, maybe like work and career somewhat, but it's never really about like just things that you're passionate about, which can be, of
Hmm.
course, like your job, but sometimes your passion could just be, volunteering at church or
Hmm.
um, exercising could be a passion and something that you truly love. Um, but yeah, Gil said photography, that's a passion of his.
That's a
So
good one.
yeah, it is. But yeah. So to get started, Ron, what
Hmm.
are your passions? What passions do you love,
Oh.
rather?
Ooh, I like the way how you worded that.
Yeah.
What passions do I love? Well, I love streaming every other Tuesday night on 9 p.m. I love that because for whatever reason, it does set the tone pretty much for the rest of the week. And I feel as though that if if I don't make it to the live streams for whatever the case, whatever the cause, whatever the reason, I feel like my week goes down in a slump. And not
Mm,
necessarily like in a bad slump. It's like, man, I just miss talking to my friends, miss talking to the people in the chat, sharing the ideas and hearing the comments, listen to the comments, replying to the comments. Like there's a lot that goes on to it. So that's just one of them. I just love being here on Tuesday nights. Not saying I could be anywhere else doing any other thing,
hmm.
possibly, but I mean, to spend the last portion of my night with you guys, that's my passion. And there goes a freak thunderstorm. Oh,
Oh.
so number two, yes. So passion number two, I know it's weird, but I do love thunderstorms.
Okay.
I love them.
Yeah.
The more severe, the better, because me and my inner scientific child that's kind of like in there just doing one of these numbers. I don't know if you
Hmm.
can see it, but I'm doing this. Like they're waiting for a tornado to drop just so we could go quote unquote chase it and capture it and just be in awe. Like that's a real life tornado. And I got it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That that's me. That's
Yeah.
me. I just love weather. I love the way how it can start. Like I was telling Elle before we went started, you guys. Like today it was 70 degrees in Michigan, tail end of February. Like it's very much uncommon, but yes, it was 70 degrees. But I was also reading that this same area that I'm living is also so is also going to experience a lot of severe storms that are rolling in with again one of them starting like right now. Yeah, tornado Ron, I'm telling you that'll work. That'll work. And like this is just only the first storm that's coming in out of a line of I don't know, probably like 10. So starting as of right now, so between 9 o'clock right now, going into about 4, 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, these are when all these storms are supposed to be coming in. On top of the fact that we're also supposed to get hit with snow too. Yeah,
Okay.
make it make sense.
Just all
Make it make
of the
sense.
seasons in like 3 days.
Yes, yes, and so we have the running joke that Michigan is the bipolar twin sister of Colorado. And if anybody who's lived in Colorado and in Michigan, they could be like, "Yeah, we understand. We get it. We
Mm.
get it." Which is weird because I remember the first year of us living in Colorado, like literally I was working, it was bright, sunny, about 80 degrees. Out of nowhere, we had a thunderstorm that came through. It rained. It snowed for like a good 30 minutes, only to turn back around and be like 80 degrees as a coworker. We're looking at each other like, did that really just happen? Like, yeah, it really did happen. And then we go outside and we got a big old rainbow above the job. Yeah, that really did just happen. Like, okay, okay, here it is. For the one, let's do it.
Oh man, that's funny.
Do it. Um, oh, I love I love math.
Mm.
Also, the other math, making Americans think harder about themselves. That too.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, I remember that.
but like, I don't, yeah, you got that one. Yes. Shout out to the OGA gang. If y'all the math, like I like the relationship two numbers and those two relationships. I know the inner math kid who wanted to be the world's greatest mathematician slash math teacher. Whenever it's like, hey, I need help with my math question, I just light up like, oh, really? Like, please tell me more. Just show me. Like, let me teach you how to solve this because it's really easy. But then again, the way how today's math is set up, it's making math more complicated than what it needs to be. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's already complicated as it is, anyways. Why put another complication on top of a bunch of complications where it don't
Right.
need that many? Like, no. If we know one plus one is equals two, I don't need you to tell me why one plus one is equal to. Well, I have one piece of gum and I got another piece of gum. I have two pieces of gum. That's it. If
Mm-hmm.
Johnny gave me one apple and Susie gave me another apple, I have two apples now.
You're right.
They gave them to me because otherwise I have no apples.
Right.
Yeah, don't get me started. Oh yeah, that's another passion too.
Not getting you started.
Oh, yes, don't get me started is another passion.
Yeah.
Oh man, read like I have a really strong passion for reading. I'm in two book clubs, and I think with two of those book clubs, I kind of miss reading two books. Yikes! But
Mm.
I did, yeah, yeah. We finished one book, and then um, the book clubs, and I asked like, okay, what's the next book to get? And the host of the one said, "Oh, we're doing it. I still have not got that book yet." And
Mm.
then the other book club that I'm in, again, we just got done reading another book, and we're kind of like taking a step back, and so we're trying to navigate like this sci-fi thriller novel, and the other one, I'm waiting for the host to kind of narrow down which one, but I think they went a different way. So I don't know which book to get. So I'm kind of stuck in limbo in that one. So I'm like, you know what? Fine. I'm just gonna go to the local bookstore and I got a gift certificate. I'm gonna buy me two books. And the one book I'm reading is actually very, very interesting.
Mm.
Very interesting. I like it. It pretty much lines up my alley. And again, it's just one of those um, genres that I didn't think I would get into, but I'm slowly am. So I'm like, okay, let's
Okay.
do it.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Like I've been
Yes.
Like, like I've been getting into reading, probably past like year and a
Hmm.
half or so. Um, Whenever season 2 of Bridgerton came out, and um, like I'm kind of afraid to like delve into another genre because I've just been reading like rom-coms. Even
Hmm.
though I feel like the book I'm reading right now isn't really like a rom-com, it's still romance, it's still like romance, but comedy, I don't know. I don't know if it's like comedic yet cuz like I know
Mm.
that it's going to like shit's going to kind of start to like, hey Rocky, shit's going to start to kind of like tumble,
So,
but
hmm.
I don't know. Like I would like to, like I have some of the Game of Thrones books, but since I've watched the show, I don't really feel like reading the books. Like I have the book Dune that I've had for many years now because this guy like said it was his favorite book. So I was like, all right, let me give it a shot. Still can't get into it. Like, I mean, I haven't picked it up in years, but I don't know.
Hmm.
Like, maybe if I found like a rom com, like in like the sci-fi genre, I don't know, figure out how things and yeah, me too. Oh, I definitely love that about people. Like, I have a friend who's like, I think he's a professor of like sociology, and I'm like, man, that'd have been kind of
Hmm.
cool, you know? Like, talk about like sociology, like ethics, and just like people. I'm an anthropology, philosophy,
Hmm.
history. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
like,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
like I'm trying to think like what I'm passionate about. Honestly, I think even though like I took like pretty much a big hiatus, but I'm starting to get back into it now. I'd say video games. Video games is a yeah, video games is a huge passion of mine. Um,
Hmm.
like so for the longest, I've been just kind of equating my Nintendo Switch or like also like any sort of console that I have to like my TV. And I'm like, well, if I want to play video games, I have to use my TV. And you know, it's just a lot easier to like watch Netflix than to play a video game. So like I just didn't bother because like I'd normally be eating and it's hard to eat and play video games. One of the best. Yeah, no, Dune's a hard story. I agree. um,
Hmm.
but a lot of people love Dune. This guy that I liked who was also Italian. Man, I don't know. Maybe you know him, Chad. I'm kidding. No. Italian likes Dune. Same person, no. Um, yeah, like, yeah. So I was just equating it to that until I like one day I was like, oh my goodness, I can play my Switch handheld, which is like the whole freaking point of the system. Yeah, that's like 50% of it. I know, I know. I don't know. I don't, like I guess
Man.
like where it is like in my like my TV stand, it's just I don't know.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh my goodness, let me just like pick it up and play it. So I've been doing that lately, and like it's been great. Like I found like this puzzle game called Color Zen on the Nintendo Shop. Apparently I've been paying for
Hmm.
the Nintendo Online, which is only like $20 a year. So it's just not really something that's easily noticed coming out of your account. Very smart of Nintendo. And it's like,
Mhm.
oh, people pay $20 a year. That's no big deal. Maybe it was my cousin. Oh man. Yeah, so I was like, okay, let me download this game. Game's a lot of fun. And so I've also been playing like cuz I wanted to just play something that's like mindless but still fun. And
Mhm.
but I recently purchased two games. Like they were $20 each, which isn't bad. One is it's called Night in the Woods. It's kind of a slice of life game where
Mm.
you're like a college dropout. You drop out of your sophomore year, you go back home to like your nothing small town, and like you reconnect with some of your friends and like you're so it's just kind of so it's just kind of interesting. What is it? What are you referring to? Like me? He said no way twice. Dang. I know. I was like, I don't know. Depression will do that to you. Dep- It'll make like
Mm.
it puts blocks in your way that are just so nothing. Like they're just really not like they're really not even there. So yeah, so I've been playing that game. I've been playing another game. Well, like I haven't played it yet, but I downloaded Okami. I
Mm.
gotta pick up my Switch It's there, right there, waiting for you. Yeah,
Mhm.
like I hadn't played my Switch in so long. Like I had to reconnect to the Wi-Fi because like beginning of last year, 2023, I'd gotten like I upgraded my internet and changed like my modem and my Wi-Fi router. So like that's how long it's been since like I played my Switch. I was like, this is bad. So, but yeah, I downloaded Okami. Um, like very very popular game I've always wanted to play. I think it came out on the PS3 back in the day.
Mm.
But I never had a PlayStation 3. But like, so I'm excited to play that eventually. But yeah, no. So like, I'm glad to be kind of getting back into playing video games because it's sad that it's
Mhm.
like I don't know. Like I sometimes I feel like I always have to be like doing something, progressing, being busy, but like I know that I need to just like take my mind off of everything, like even TV shows, because like with TV shows, you still have to like catch up on stuff, and that's just could just be another distraction. Whereas like a video game is just kind of different. It feels like you're like a little bit more
Mhm.
in control, and that's just kind of nicer.
Mhm.
It's like it's still mindless, but you're in control. Um, yeah, yeah. So I'm excited to play it. I'm excited to play Okami. Um, But yeah, like it's been nice just kind of playing it. Like I like having my Switch just off the dock and just like in my face more, like on the couch and everything.
Mhm.
So I'm like, yeah, let me just pick up and play for a bit. So I'm not like on my phone or on my laptop or anything. Just it's kind of cool. It's like just you know, a third screen that's nothing. It's just for games. It's just for this. So it's been
Mm.
nice. Um, What else am I passionate about? I would say exercising and like getting fit. I signed up for a 5K that I'm doing next month. Um, I've actually never. Oh, I guess I can't say that anymore. But on Saturday, so, practicing for the 5K, I actually ran 5 kilometers straight for the first time in my life. So I'm really happy. So like
Right.
yeah. So it kind of goes to show that I can do it because in my head, all the time, like, I can't do this, I can't do this, it's too much, it's too much. Yeah, different kinds, levels of attention, focus in your life. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Like, that is so true. Like, you need to just, yeah, like, just focusing on one thing can be bad. Just focusing on another thing can be bad. Sometimes you really just need to, especially if you have a lot of loves, interests, passions, like, it's really sad when, like, one thing kind of falls to the wayside and you think that, it's like, your asshole depression brain starts to just say, just, just starts telling you some BS. So, like, you really gotta,
Hmm.
just, like, ignore it. Um, but there's one thing that you can't ignore. It's our third guest, well, not guest, our co-host, who makes the
Hmm.
cipher complete. It is, of course, the one and only Toby. He probably wasn't ready.
Toby.
Toby, are you here? I don't know. Let me.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, it looks like he's not ready yet. All right. My bad. Uh, yeah, Toby, if you can hear us, let us know when you're ready. My bad. Thought he was ready. Thought he was ready. But yeah. Um, yeah, no, exercising's definitely becoming, like, passion of mine, and another thing that can easily fall on the wayside is passion leaving women on red.
That's wild. But it might be true. It might
Yeah,
be true.
yeah, yeah. I would not be surprised. um, yeah. Would it be weird to say? I guess I'm kind of passionate about myself. Whatever, I'll say it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, like,
Mm-mm. No. Go for it.
yeah, because I feel like, in the past few years, just, like, working on myself from, like, the whole fitness thing, and just, you know realizing that, I'm a lot more capable than I guess initially thought. Um, Also,
Hmm.
just from things that I've done, like stand up comedy and, like, improv, and, like, things like that. Like, it's just fun to just, like, be forever evolving. So, like, just bettering myself. I'm getting better at cooking. Um, like, just, being passionate, and just, like, loving myself and loving the person I'm becoming. Like, I don't think I'm
Hmm.
becoming a terrible person. Like, I'm not, just like, yeah, of course there's things that I'd want and places I'd probably rather be, but at the same time, I'm not upset with where I am. I can get frustrated from time to time, but I'm never, like, truly upset. Like, so, yeah, like, learning about myself, learning how to manage and maintain things a lot better. So, yeah, I definitely
No,
passionate
that's
about
good.
the person I am and the person who I am trying to be. As cheesy as that may sound, like, I'm passionate about, like, the people in my life, my friends. Um,
Mm.
like, I think I have really great friends. I feel like I've been, like, truly blessed to never really have, like, a backstabbing friend, you know. I've never had like just like a truly just like I've known like crappy people. I've known, you know, like shitty people. Like I think we all like that's just inevitable in
Mm-hmm.
life, unfortunately. And you know, like I would say like the people who I am like close to, um, you know, like they're all great people. Like I love seeing them succeed. I love seeing them work hard, try hard, get the things that they want. Like it's a great feeling because it's like it motivates me. You know, I'm not just like sitting around hating and jealous. You know, it's kind of
Mm.
like, you know, it's like, oh, snap. That's awesome. If they can do it, I can do it too, you know? And I do feel
Right.
like they're, you know, like they're rooting for me too. Like they're not, you know, yeah, like they're not, they don't have like any sort of malice, at least not to my knowledge. I haven't really felt anything like that. I haven't really come across that. Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, it's true. Like it really is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like I don't think I never had anybody like steal from me. I never had anybody like, you know, like just be like really truly horrible. Like, granted,
Right.
like I can't say I've been like the perfect friend for everybody, and I haven't had like you know, just perfect friends, just like just straight A friends my whole life. But I never really had like terrible people. So like, and I just love the people that I have in my life. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Rocky.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, I can't say that I have really, you know,
Mm.
like, yeah. And if it was anything, it's like not that big. Like it didn't make like a super big impact, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like one thing that came to mind was like I think like my brother's I don't know, one of his accounts were probably messed up, so I think he used like my might have been like my debit card. 'Cause I don't think I had a credit card at the time. And you know, I noticed that like he spent a little bit more money than he said he would. And he was like, "Yeah, I just like went and bought a sandwich. I didn't think you'd like really notice." I was like, "Yeah, well, I freaking noticed." But like buying a sandwich versus like I don't know, stealing like hundreds of dollars or like something like serious. It was nothing like you know explosively bad that's ever that like a you know like a friend or like even like a family member in terms of like monetarily, I should say. Like my brother has been freaking crazy, as I've said, but uh, when you get invited to a Passover dinner, that was what's on the
Mm. Man. So are they saying they want you out or they want you out?
right?
Like that's kind of weird.
So it's like that's the worst moment. Like one of these people will betray
Mm.
me.
Sheesh. Man. I just like look. I'll take my plate to go. Like I'll be all right. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. At least I lived a long and prosperous life.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Let me see if Toby's ready.
Rocky, you got a point.
That's what I was supposed to do. U.S. Not U.S. Bank, but U.S.
That's weird. It's by
Right.
um
Mm.
Okay, let me. One second, sorry about that. They could be starting World War III tomorrow.
No, you're good. You're good. It's a Judas joke.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you got a point. You got a point. Then again, that could be your last supper too. Like that man. Mm, never mind. We gonna go there. Yeah, he got what he deserved though. I'm gonna put it like that. Judas got what he deserved. I don't care what nobody says. He got what he deserved.
Yeah. Let me see.
Is that the one and the only? Mr. Steal Your Girl, give her back and steal your girl again just because.
Yeah, Toby.
Wow.
I don't know if you have a fear enough. I knew Toby was a spy for Africa.
I
I mean,
mean,
Toby, you're
hold on,
muted. I don't know if you know.
because he was. Mhm.
Okay, now I'm in a lot. What's going on here? Um. Okay, I'm not muted now, but it seems like there's a super heavy lag. My computer's at full charge. It's very strange. Why is this doing this?
Toby is spy. Not just a spy, but spy. Not just any spy. Spy. Yeah, Toby, welcome, welcome. We're talking about
Mhm.
just our passions that we love, not just things we're passionate about, but passions that we love.
Yes.
Okay. Um. Hold on. Let me put my power at best performance.
I think the no
Is
meat
there
eaters were
any?
just poor, but I don't know, but also religion. Even to this day too, people are vegan or vegetarian because of their religion.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. And
Yes.
also,
Agreed.
of course, there were just people who just didn't like the thought of eating meat, just like how there is today. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that existed back then. Makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You safe over there, Toby?
It seems like it's. I don't know if you can hear me in real time, but there's a pretty
Hmm.
heavy lag, and it just froze on me. Um.
Yeah, we could see
Mhm.
you and hear you.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, now it seems to be normal, but there was like a not just a normal lag, but like an actual like frame by frame dragging. But I could hear you fine. It just seemed like I wasn't in this. And before when I tried calling, yeah, I think I messaged in the on Discord like 10 minutes after I first tried calling, so I was like 9:30 ish, and I was like, why is this not going through? So I wasn't sure. That was on my phone because I was actually driving
Oh, okay,
home.
gotcha.
So I don't know if it was just maybe it was just like the data was not working and the call wasn't coming through. And then after that, I was available to come on, but I could hear you at some point. But I think because I didn't have my camera on, it might not have looked like I was fully in the back. But yeah, I'm here now, home and in front of my computer. Um,
Okay, nice. Yeah,
Passions.
Nice.
yeah. Oh, and also, chat, definitely let us
Mhm.
know, like what passions do you love? specifically, not just what are your passions,
Mm-hmm.
because there is a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is quite a difference. Because like I know that there are some
Passions that you
passions. Yeah, because I know that there are some passions
Yes.
that I have that I like. It's just like something that I'm passionate about, like passionate about talking about, but I'm not I don't necessarily like love it. Like I'll be honest, one of them would be,
Mm-hmm.
just the atrocities that black people have endured in this country. Like I love learning about it. Like, like I like to be informed and like learning about it, but I wouldn't say that it's something that I love, like in terms of like makes me happy. It just makes me just more sad. You
Mm.
Like,
That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair.
Politics I'm passionate about, but I do not love it.
yeah.
Again, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's interesting. I like when
Ah,
the results are good, but I hate it when the results are like fascism. You know?
yeah. Then we got a bigger issue. Like, yes.
Yeah. I love, honestly, like, I love talking about like creation as well. Like, I was just thinking about this today. Like, so I was listening to this podcast called The Diary of a CEO. Um,
Mm.
and the thing I hate about, like, his podcast is usually pretty good, but like, I really hate his thumbnails because it's like
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube because it's clearly just because it's clearly just like very, I don't know, like YouTubey, just to like catch your attention, but just like in like the most I feel like YouTube is just like the king of clickbait in terms of like titles and crap. So
Mm.
and it's like
I can
Mm.
see
okay,
that.
it's like yeah, I get it, but you're like top 3 biggest podcasts like in the world, or at least are in the country or something like that. Like come on. You could just have like a normal thumbnail with the title at this point. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I was kind of reluctant to listen to like this person that I think I think it's from today or yesterday or something. And I was like, all right, I'm driving home. I got nothing better to do. Let me just put this on. Why the hell not? And it was actually like he was talking to a guy who I guess like is like an entrepreneur, has launched like a lot of businesses, a lot of companies, and like yeah, his thumbnails are trash. Thank you. And then it's annoying when people are trying to like copy it too. It's like, oh, we don't need more of this. We don't. But like, is anyone going to cop the insurrection ones? I mean the January 6s?
Yes, the January 6th.
Oh, this is supposed to be those Trump shoes. Oh, $400 is sadly not even the most expensive thing out there.
That's true.
Um, and I'm like, yo, this would be a sick design if I wasn't supporting Trump's legal funds right now. Like, if this wasn't supporting Trump's legal get out of jail funds, I'm like, I could actually buy something that looks like that. Freedom, gold. Like, could this just not be Trump? And maybe, yeah, I could buy one of these.
Right, true.
Nope,
But
I
it
couldn't
is
do it.
so weird
Forces
that
forces cost
I
too
mean, I
much as
wouldn't.
it is anyways.
Yeah, I've never bought shoes that expensive. Probably at most was like 100, a little bit over 100 for like my nice winter boots. If it even went to that, so I'm like, why am I gonna spend this? But that's the reminder.
Yeah, that's
There's
understandable.
a whole lot I need to catch up on this chat because there's a lot happening here. But yes, to your point, clickability and clickbait and things like that.
Mm,
I get
right.
it.
But
Everyone's.
like the person that he had on today, or when I was listening to it today, was actually pretty interesting, and like it kind of gave me a lot to talk, like a lot to think about for like
Hmm.
like the app that I'm trying to create and launch. Like I haven't paid the money yet, of course, but like I'm trying to be in the best position to, you know, for when it's eventually created and launched. And one of the things he was suggesting, which was like something that my brother-in-law was kind of talking about in a way, and it's like something that I knew but like forgot, is to like create a
Hmm.
waiting list. Like if this is
Hmm.
something that people want, then they will join a waiting list. I was like, oh my goodness, that's pretty genius, because it's like it's free, or it's like very low cost. You just put up a website, say like, hey, coming soon, blah blah blah, join our waiting list. Send, I don't know, bi-weekly updates or something to keep people interested.
Hmm.
Like emails, newsletter, or something. Oh no, I haven't seen the SNL Trump's shoes skit yet, but I was like, that's such a good idea. It's like, so just to get the word out and get people interested, and like if any, like venture capitalists or investors or anything have any questions, I could just be like, "Oh, there's already 100 people who are waiting for this. There's already 1,000 people who are waiting for this." I was like, "That's and you can't deny numbers. That's what people like to see."
Hmm.
Gold like that rubs me the wrong way. Also, it's a little ironic that a former president flag code by putting it on a product.
I don't think I know much about. I like that sounds vaguely familiar about the flag code. Maybe.
Yeah. We f up, like, this country f's up the flag code all the time. Like the Blue Lives Matter flag is messing up the flag code. It's so weird. I'm like, and you're putting this on cop cars. Like this goes against so many things. Also, like, why can't they just put the American flag? Like, why can't they just do that? Like, it makes
It's
I don't know.
interesting.
Makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Because there's some cop cars like that I've seen with like the Blue Lives Matter flag on it. And I'm like, that's not a flag. Like, I'm sorry to break it to you, but it's not. If I can't pick it in my emojis, it's not a flag. But you know what flag does
Right.
exist?
Hmm.
The American flag.
That's
Yeah,
true.
so
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Not only is it a great way to see who's interested, but it can also help fund the project, pay to join the waitlist. True. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do first, because that's just a very like low cost of entry, and something I can do like pretty easily.
Hmm.
So yeah, gotta get familiar with advertising
Hmm.
and crap like that. Gotta,
So yeah. Oh yeah.
put those skills to use. It's weird when I'm like, I kind of already do that, but I never really like. I'm not really the person who pulls the trigger in terms of like putting the ad on a place, but I know how to like create and design and promote things. Okay,
Hmm.
it's a flag, not a sacred object. The obsession over the flag was just a right wing tactic to emphasize un Americanness and protest. Yeah, and now they're just making their own
That's fair.
flags. Yeah, Toby, sorry.
National research or not?
Um, yeah, I don't think you mentioned like your passions that you love.
Oh, I yeah, no, passions are hard. There were things that I thought could be interesting, like when I always thought maybe I should like look into comedy related things, making certain content, making more like little silly. Like I had a notebook full of ideas, and I would just come up with new things, put them on Google Keep. But I guess I couldn't call it a passion if I never really did it. I mean, I do like. It's funny because I definitely posted on my close friends certain activities that were happening over the weekend. You
Mm-hmm.
commented on it, and so did Gil.
Oh yeah.
Um, I like going out, being part of nightlife scene. I don't necessarily always go out to drink. Like I can, but since usually I'm always driving, that's something I always watch anyway. And other, the other things too that might be federally illegal but legal in certain states. And again, those
Mm-hmm.
are things that could happen, but they're not like the goal of when I'm gathering with people. And so I think like I do like but to like go out and dance, and I did take like classes. I haven't really been like super deep into like the class scene, but my first year in college, and I mentioned before because I know El, you were a big part of hip hop, a big part of like hip hop in college, right? Like a club or something. So
Yes.
I did like a breakdancing club, and it was cool to
Hey.
learn. I did bachata sophomore year, and so it was like first it was like a ballroom dance thing, but I didn't have time to do the whole class. But then they were like, we have like a nightlife dancing. I was like, what does that mean? And they had like bachata, I guess, and I think there was also salsa. So these were more like dances that you might do at certain. Because I know there's a lot of salsa clubs, which is actually such a cool concept. There's even kazomba, but I learned bachata, so like that stuff was cool. But I couldn't really bring myself to do a lot of classes because of the timing. But even just
Mm-hmm.
kind of going out in general to events like good DJs. Like there's like random regular clubs, but that isn't always the best because it's just like there's a lot of annoyance with that. I mean, I'm still not like old enough to completely write it off, but it can definitely just be like, do I really want to be doing this? Versus if you go out to like certain curated events that might be around Amapiano or might be around dancehall or soca. You might be R&B is a really big one that I got into in Boston. Actually, I have not been a huge fan of some of the R&B events out here.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the R&B parties, but in Boston there was a R&B only was a big one. So like going to certain like dance nights that are well curated, not just I mean, I can go out to a club, I can, but I always feel like there's a bit of a stigma. And so it's like a lot of people kind of like there's literally a group called I Don't Do Clubs that's like owned by a black woman, and she kind of specializes in making certain day parties. Like Must Love Beards is this big day party that happens across the country where men get in for free and women pay, which is like
Okay.
a big flip. Um,
Yeah.
Ironically, I went to Must Love Beards in March of last year, like very shortly after, or maybe even on International Women. And I was like, this is hilarious. Like I posted it, and a friend of mine who definitely she's much more of like she's definitely not someone who'd be very a big fan of that. Was obsistentially or whatever. Like she kind of will like at least outwardly be like, oh my god, like that's that type of feel like actually cool at the end of the day. Where like you have just these kind of cool, fun, curated events. But the clubbing thing can be like a bit of a stigma and not something that's always seen highly upon, especially as you get a bit older. Even like late 20s, early 30s, people are like, oh, I can't do that anymore. So if I do go out, I'm like, oh, maybe I should like not always advertise that. But I will like after going out for years and experiencing things before the pandemic and after, it can be like annoying, like it can be fun, but then it can be annoying, and you're just like, do I want to do this? But the curated parties, I usually have a lot more appreciation for, just because I've met a lot of people who are event planners, event organizers, promoters, DJs, even people who are like bottle girls or who like work in these industries, and so it's like really cool to see people who work in these areas behind the scenes. There's actually a podcast. I don't really know the people that well who do it, but I've seen them or been to some of their events. There's a podcast called But I Know the DJ, which is such a funny name because it's like you know what that's about. Like,
Right.
or like you can kind of imagine someone who's trying to get in, they're trying to get a VIP or cheaper ticket, and like, oh, I know the DJ, and so that I haven't really listened to it a lot, but I did hear one last year, right around the time when Beyonce was on tour. So it was really cool that they were talking about music, and they ironically were talking about Taylor Swift before she even like she's been popular, of course, but
Yeah.
before she really blew up the way she just did. Um, so I think that episode probably came out in the middle or early last year. Um, and so, any case, like, but I know the DJ. Like, there's just it's just like I have an appreciation for that. So I guess the passion would be like going out for things that are like well curated, um, and like things that kind of can bring people together. Like a lot of like young professional outings. I'm not really great at going to like laser tag or going to like paint and sips or brunch. Definitely not. But I think things that can be like later. It doesn't always have to be like literally nighttime. It could be like in the evening. I just went to this Avatar: The Last Airbender watch party
Hmm.
that I thought was branched off of this African diaspora group, but it turns out that group that I like it was we were all in a WhatsApp group and we all came from different places, which I did not know until the very end of night two because it was two nights that we watched. Um, we watched this for two nights on Friday and Saturday. The woman was Nigerian. She's a doctor. She's amazing. Like she's literally like a MD. I'm pretty sure she's a doctor and like
Mm.
I don't know if it's immunology. I mean, she has her information on her profile, so it's not like super private. But like, she was like works in public health remotely, and I was like, well, "You're a doctor, a physician is what she called herself." And so she's like, "You're a physician working remotely for like the CDC." I was just like, "Wow, you're like freaking amazing." So, and she's like proud blurred nerd. She's like, "I'm really nerdy, but people don't know from the outside." And her whole house was super themed for Avatar, and
Hey.
I got there a little late the first day, but the second date I was there, and so it was super cool. Like breaking out all these scenes. I mean, yeah. So I definitely like the kind of energy from it, and I kind of like redefining it because like you have like the maybe the more negatives of kind of the out clubbing scene, but I've seen people who like don't enjoy some of those negatives, but they still like coming out, they still like going out, they still like having fun with other people who are I don't know. You could be working professionals or at least people who are passionate about something and like we're driven people who like enjoy good vibes. You're not here for like nonsense. So maybe sometimes you want a little shenanigans, but you're not like living a life of not I don't know. Like it's hard to describe, but like it's like you're going out with people who like you might
Mhm.
feel like you don't always get to see outside. And it's just like nice, like, oh, you're a therapist, you're a doctor, you're this, and like we're all out here just having a good time. Some of us like going to concerts, and it's not like one group, but I found different groups of people who kind of seem to be somewhat like minded. And it's much more of a social thing, but I feel like it's a really good energy and like mental health, even just like to keep yourself out of isolation, especially for people who might not work physically with a lot of people or who don't physically live in communities with other people or like they just might not
Mhm.
socialize as much. Some people do, but some don't, and they'll admit that they only go out because of certain groups that exist, like these groups. And so, like Boston was the Boston Young Black Professionals, and I had other groups of people. Here, there's like these DMV social groups that I just found in like November, and I've only just started to meet people over the last few weeks and months. There's like a DMV techie group from this Techsgiving, basically Black Tech Gov. It was like GovTech, but it was like a Black organized conference for like GovTech in the DC area. And I kind of found some branch off groups from there. And again, people just like to go out. They like to have fun, but they also like to give people resources about things and have good conversation. And I don't always participate in all the stuff, but I feel like that type of networking and socializing is just something that definitely is very energizing, even when sometimes I just want to binge watch or
Mhm.
scroll or do whatever indoors. So, it's a hard question, but I guess like it is easier to talk about once I like just think about what do I actually do and what do I actually like to do. Um, in terms of like, but I wish I had more of like a hobby type thing. But like Chad said, she's a doctor, but the real question is she a trap queen? Is- I mean, Is that like I would say no. I mean, is that I'm guessing like that's more preferred. Like you rank Trap Queen over Doctor, um,
You gotta say
or maybe there's
allegedly,
another
Toby.
reference to that.
Allegedly, allegedly,
Allegedly, I
sir.
guess.
Oh,
Allegedly.
shit.
Hey, actually, I was just talking with a good friend about this. She was I met her in Boston, but she's actually from the DMV, and so she's actually been around, but she mostly has grown up in Virginia. And so we were having a conversation like end of last year, like 'cause we sometimes catch up every few months, but we've seen each other a lot more recently, like since begin end of last year. Um, and it was cool. Like it's cool. We're friends, but like we also we have our own dynamic. And she was saying how she wanted to like maybe get into nightlife, and like she was talking about how the scene in Boston, like she was just like, yeah, I could do so much better than like some of the people up there. And I was talking to her like I know a lot just from having been around and meeting people, and I kind of know the spots of where people should be. Not that I'm the best planner in all of that, but she was like, maybe we should do something together. And I was like, don't tempt me. If we want to make some kind of business or some kind of logistic planning or like data collection or like data mapping of like I don't know, being able to like show people where the best spots are at. I was like mess around maybe with
Mm.
Eventbrite or different like events. It could be TicketWeb, just different like websites that have events. Maybe compile the data. I don't know. It could be complicated, but it could be fun. I have no idea what I would be doing, but I do think it could be a fun thing to like. I don't know about one specific club. Like that can be cool, and I respect people who open new spots and want to like localize. But it's also cool for the people who do things that are a bit more broad, whether it's multiple cities or more of a region where you just kind of like flow and find timelines and like, especially for transplants, like what are people going to do who are new? Even some people who are from an area who haven't exactly explored all the spots, that can be really cool to see like people who are from a spot who are kind of discovering new things. Particularly in like, it doesn't always have to be nightlife, but it could be a paint and sip. It could be like going to museums that have like, I guess it's not a paint and sip, but it would be like a view and sip where you like take over like the National Archives or the Library of Congress. They've done some different events where they have like wine nights and you can go through the Library of Congress. I've not been to these events, but I've been to some equivalent in Boston where like the in their Institute for Contemporary Art, the ICA has done party nights where they like let you go to exhibits. Toby's future wife's homework will be easy. I don't know what that's supposed to mean exactly,
Right? I don't know.
but I'm very curious. I'm very curious on what that means. And so, are they actually still like DJs, or people go see them as a shtick? That's interesting. Um, the plug. I can be like people would be like,
Just one.
"What's the thing?" But I don't know. I I'm not. I'm connected, but I don't always keep
Oh
up.
my
So you know, I can find the thing that people need, but
Toby,
I don't
you gotta say
necessarily use
allegedly.
the product. Is this the running thing? What's happening right now? Hold on. I saw Chad
Ah,
mention allegedly. Oh, Brocky said, "Don't forget to say allegedly." Chad Jinx, Fiddlesticks. Oh, and Gil said it too. Oh, that's hilarious. So you guys have been all telling me like I need to be careful here. Superman that Hodor. Oh, that's
yeah,
funny. I
yeah. You
joked
think?
like this before. Um, someone told me he is a photographer in Boston. We were outside of like an event. I don't know if we both were at the same event or we saw each other, but we saw each other outside. Don't know how cold it was, but it was late. We were talking and we just started talking maybe 20 minutes. Not that long, but for outside of like the Boston Commons, like that area where there's a strip of like a few clubs. It was pretty late, and we were just talking. And he was saying how he's like apparently he used to be in data analysis, and now he's like a photographer. Like he's at a lot of big events, and he's just like kind of like this like nerd. He's bigger than me. Like he's probably a bit taller. This Asian guy who kind of like has his nerdy persona with the glasses, but like also like kind of cool, and it's just like really interesting. And so I was like, I could talk to a guy like this for an hour plus, just talking like in podcast form, because he was asking me questions like, what would you say is the best nightlife spot if someone's coming out of town? And I gave a spot, and he was like, really, like that? that's not the spot I would choose. And then we went back and forth, and it was really fun. I was like, this could be a fun thing to like delve into and like flesh out, write some type of
Hmm.
blog if I can get my writing like focused together, which I that's a struggle, lifelong struggle there. But if I really
Mm.
could like focus up, I could maybe write
And
some kind of fun little thing. Or
Chat GPT
um,
exists.
yeah, that's true. Um, I want to use that more for things that I don't know. Um, I
Oh,
want to figure out the better ways of using ChatGPT.
um, speaking of
You
Chat
go ahead.
GPT, so the Copilot app, Microsoft's Copilot app, like anyone can download this, and you could just click to choose ChatGPT 4 to have it be powered by it, so you don't have to pay for ChatGPT 4, like ChatGPT 4. So for anybody who is like, oh, I'd love to, it's like I wish ChatGPT was just like a little better, but I don't want to pay for ChatGPT 4.0. You can just download the Microsoft Copilot app. I downloaded it like a few weeks ago, and I haven't really been using it, but it's free, and I have ChatGPT 4.0 capabilities, which is nice. Like, I don't know if anyone can see, but it says like use ChatGPT 4. You just click the thing, and then it's on, and then I can just ask it stuff. So
Um,
yeah. Hey. No, I think I
cool.
highlighted it. Yeah. No, like that would be.
Copilot.
But yeah, definitely think about it. It's a physical
Yeah, Copilot
manifestation. I know. Okay.
settings. It would be nice. I have to look at it more, I guess, but
Yeah.
Copilot.
Same.
Yeah, and of course I could always search it, of course, within Copilot to figure out how can I set GPT for Copilot.
Hmm.
Ironically, had it open just because my computer just updated to Windows 11. Like I technically installed it some weeks ago, but I never found the time to fully download. I was doing so many things with my job application stuff and like my onboarding that I never wanted to just like let it update for a whole day. And I
Hmm.
guess I just didn't plan it overnight because I kind of wanted to observe it. So this is the first time I'm opening my computer, and it seems like Windows 11 is here. Like I've been putting this off for years to not get Windows 11 because I heard there were a lot of old features from Windows 10 that didn't make it. But it seems like since that time, a lot of features have been kind
Okay.
of like reinstated. So a lot of things that were lost in the beginning, I guess there was enough demand that they put it back into Windows 11. And I was like, you know what? This will probably just make my computer have less problems. Probably will make a lot of things run smoother. So it looks like, and I don't know, I had my computer up, my personal computer even last week, but I don't use it that much anymore. So um, the point is now I'm oh right, today was primary day. That's why they were talking about all this stuff. So any case, anyway, I just saw like a breaking news alert. So
Oh. Okay.
um Copilot is like in my face where it's like try Copilot and I was like, okay, I guess so. Um yeah, I know my Microsoft Rewards has been suspended. Screw you guys. Don't yeah, I'm not gonna incriminate myself, but be careful when using rewards. Someone said I don't have the capability to set up GPT-4 and Copilot. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking. I'm not saying do this in Copilot. I'm saying
But I
how can I set up G?
but I
Go ahead, please.
um yeah, I did want to ask everybody like what is something that like yeah, that you're passionate about, but it's not really like a positive thing, kind of like what I was talking about in terms of like politics. So, for example, many years ago ish, Amanda Seals was like on a panel with um, Caitlyn Jenner, uh, Margaret Cho and like some other people. And I don't know, they were just like kind of talking about stuff. And this was like when Caitlyn Jenner just like recently transitioned. And like Amanda got, and well, it wasn't really like an argument per se. It was just like Amanda was just like, sharing her thoughts, saying like, she can't love this country. She can't say that she loves this country the same way that Caitlyn Jenner can say that she loves her country. So, like it could have, and like I believe she was the only black woman there, so it could be even more like tense. And Amanda Seals is kind of known as like a controversial figure and for some people. So one of the things that she said to kind of just like quell the situation is like, I'm not hostile, I'm just passionate. So that's kind of like the reason for my tag, my name tag here. So if there's anything that you all can kind of like get like riled up, but not riled up to like fight, but like riled up because it's like, yo, I know my stuff in this particular field, or it's like I may not know how to convey it properly or what have you, but I know my stuff in this particular field, and you are just like wrong. And I understand that this is like could be a touchy topic or whatever it could be. It's just like, yo, I'm not hostile, I'm just passionate. So if there's anything that you all chat, Ron, Toby, if there's anything that's like, yo, I'm not hostile, I'm just passionate about this thing, like yeah, please let us know. Um, Ron, it seems like you have something from how you're nodding. Oh, you're on mute. Yeah, I think you muted yourself.
All right, there we
Yes.
go.
Okay.
So I was gonna say yes, yes. Oh my goodness. Um, I think for me, the one thing that I get really riled up for, and it's like it's not necessarily like bad per se,
Right.
but when when people are misquoting the Bible, and it's
Okay.
like, they don't say that. And I legit take them to where they misquoted from and explain to them why they misquoted and what it says and what it means. Then it's kind of go to like this little almost tit for tat thing. It's like, listen, you're not gonna pull a fast one because this is what I do.
Right.
I study like I'm a student, like legit. And so, like, no, like when was living in Colorado Springs, they were talking about like there was a group who was talking about like, yeah, the mother is coming back again to reclaim her children. I'm looking like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, that's not even in there. And so they're like, yeah, it is. It's right here. So I had to go read it for myself. And I'm like, I don't know who's teaching y'all bad doctrine, but that ain't it. Like, no,
Mhm.
you guys are missing the point, and you need to understand that no, that ain't it,
Mhm.
and continue to debate about it. Like, nah, you're missing the point. And your teacher, I would genuinely question your teacher because whatever your teacher is teaching y'all, they teaching y'all wrong, dead wrong. And even then, like even like now, dealing with people when it comes to the Bible and everything else, they're like, yeah, it's written by some old white man. Like, no, it's not. Pause. We're gonna squash that one right there. No, it's not, because the majority of people who read this book were more so Romans and Greeks and Hebrews. And the last time I checked, ain't nan one of them white. Just saying. More so bronze in color.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're not, no, no. And even then, even the most sophisticated man on earth, the world's most interesting man on earth, wouldn't be able to compile this thing, even if they tried. Like, nah, not even. Otherwise, we wouldn't be stuck in this mess that we're in right now. Just saying.
Mm.
But I digress.
No, like it is very annoying when the Bible is misquoted, especially when it's put into the context of politics, which it should have never been, because it
Mm.
is.
Yes. Oh. Mm.
Because like that makes it even worse because it's like, okay, now we're doing. It's like, okay, now you're controlling the masses based off of how you're interpreting the Bible, which is like that's just like
Mhm.
not even fair. It's like oh, playing chess, but it looks like you're just making up your own rules at this point. It's just like not fair.
Mhm.
And then you're just kind of stuck in this. That's something I truly truly hate. By people. If it did, the context and the right translation would be different. Right, exactly.
Listen. Rocky.
That sounds.
That's why me personally, again, me personally, I keep like 4 or 5 different translations of the Bible, and including like the King James, because that's about the closest I can get to the original text without necessarily either one paying a bunch of money to go to college to learn the ancient Greek language and the ancient Hebrew language, to fly over to Jerusalem to read the Torah, aka the Old Testament, and then catch another plane to go over to Rome and read the New Testament, which is written in Greek, which was written primarily by Paul. So it's kind of like, yeah, it it's a lot. But like I said, I keep 4 different translations because a lot of the times you take one scripture and you pair it against all 4 of the different variations or the different translations, nothing much changes. It's still the same thing. And even then, because it says the same thing, it just breaks it down where it's easier for you to understand, because nobody speaks thy, thou, which art anymore. Like, no, nobody speaks that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same token, still good to at least get the original content and the original context and how it actually plays. Closest, yes. As far, let me put it like this: as far as the as far as English speaking countries go, as far as English speaking country goes, King James is probably the closest. Are there some that are closer? Absolutely. Not saying that it's not, but again, close.
That's fair. New
I mean,
something
but
standard
I
version.
mean, it's
I've heard of
fair. It's
NRSV.
fair, yes. But even still, then, but even still, then, I mean, you still have to, because even before NRSV was even remotely around, pretty much the majority of the English speaking countries, which was primarily like Europe, they had King James for the most part. And again, and I get what you're coming from. Like, yes, NRSV probably clearest thing you can get, probably, absolutely. But even still, then, just throwing that little tad bit out there.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. But yeah, no, chat, definitely keep it coming. Yeah, and let us know
Mm-hmm.
like what you're passionate about. That's it could be touchy or it could be perceived as like hostile or like controversial.
Mm.
Hold on, hold on, Rocky, hold
Yes, sir.
on. But before we say that much, before we say that, it's like, yes, I do show some grace, but then again, at the same time, there does come a point in time where I'm just gonna look at you and I'm just do one of these numbers and call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what else to tell you. I'm finna just
Mm.
go about my day because if I continue having this conversation, like the graceful Ron's gonna go out the window, and like the hood classic Ron's gonna step in like right in on time and be like, "Do you want to fight this out or not?" Because how else are you gonna learn until you get there? Unless I have to literally beat it inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
But because I don't want to go
Mm.
there, I rather chunk up the deuces and just walk away peacefully. But again, that's just me.
No, I feel that.
Now, are there some folks? Are there some folks from just kind of like, really? Mhm. I work with a bunch of them. I work with a bunch of them. Just sit down and just looked at them like, really? Like, are we really doing this today? Like, we're really doing this today? Like, okay, mm-hmm, gotcha. I understand what kind of timing you on.
What kind of time? Yeah.
Religion, politics, culture.
All this culture
I
history
mean,
was controversial. Uh,
Mm.
yeah.
I would say
I don't even know
what
if I have as much passion for a lot of.
everything like something
No,
that's like
no, you're good.
controversial, you mean? Um, I would say what I'm controversially passionate about, I guess, is sort of like what Gil said earlier about like I guess just like how people are like socially and things like that. Like I'm definitely passionate about,
mhm,
you know, I guess like dating people and like relationships specifically and like how people, how people think versus reality sort of. Like I find it to be
mhm,
very,
mhm,
very interesting. Like, I think about it a lot. Like, if, for example, how people have just kind of become so negative on social media. Not like people were just like positive all the time, but it is very funny how there would be like a video of like a beautiful woman, it could be like a swimsuit model going down a runway or something, doing her job. And
mhm, mhm,
it's like,
mhm.
yeah, she's gorgeous, she's doing her thing, and then in the comments there'll be men angry at, at this. And it's just really funny because I'm like, I remember there was this one like comedian who like influencer, like whatever, comic, who said something like, when did we start getting like mad about titties or something? And I think about that from time to time. It's like, yeah, when did men start getting mad about titties? Like, when, like when did I start getting angry about this? It's Like, so like I like so that comes to mind sometimes whenever like I see this. It'll be like like guys in the comments saying like, "Oh, I bet she's horrible." Like, "Oh, I bet you there's like, blah blah blah, this and that about her." It's like you don't know her. She's just a swimsuit model. This is all we know about her. Like, it's like why are we mad at her? Why? It's like why are y'all collectively mad? It's not even just like one guy. It's like a collection of just angry comments, and it's like I feel like they know that negative. Yeah, definitely. They know that negativity draws attention, which is bad because that also means that like
Hmm.
the key word is attention. They want attention. It's they don't want to admit that they want attention, but they want attention. So, and they especially want attention from a beautiful woman. So like it's very interesting. Like kind of how I sort of deduced it. There was I think I may have mentioned this on the stream before, but when I was in improv, we used to have like during our like practices and learnings, we had like this game of like I don't know what it was called, but it was like this makes me think of this, and then there was this makes me think of this, which makes me think of that. So somebody will say a word. Let's say Batman. This makes me think of so Batman makes me think of Gotham. That's just one. But if it was like this makes me think of this, which makes me think of that. So like somebody says Batman in your head, you think Gotham. After Gotham, you think DC. So you say DC. You don't say Gotham, you say DC. So, then the next person will probably think of like, well, DC makes me think of politics, which makes me think of the White House. And so you're going from Batman to DC to White House. So, it's, right. So, like, you don't say the middle part. So, and this is just a theory, like, I think that what ends up happening is that, like, they see pretty woman, they know they can't get with her, that makes them angry. That's the third part. So pretty woman just goes to anger. And which is like and like most people are just kind of missing the middle part, It's like or just like wondering like how the hell they go from pretty woman to just anger, just mad. But it's like, yeah, pretty woman's not giving them attention. Pretty woman exists, not gives me attention, anger. So like they probably want attention. Men have wanted to police women's bodies since long ago. Yeah, definitely.
You did,
In my opinion, most men want
but it had to
attention
be
not
done.
from a beautiful woman, but from men. Yeah. I think that like they want like I think also like they want a beautiful woman so they can get the attention from men too. Cause like they know what it's like to just be sitting in a restaurant. I don't know, like with like their friends or something, and then like a beautiful woman comes in with like her date. So it's like and like that feeling that you get of like either it's jealousy, awe, or just like what have you. So I think they just kind of want that too. I mean, I get that. Like, I've said it time and time again. One of the reasons why I started on a fitness journey wasn't necessarily for my health, even though I knew that was going to be the case. I knew that I would feel better. I know it's great for brain and my brain and everything, but like I just wanted to be hot. I just wanted to be hotter. I just wanted to be that woman in the room because I've been told I'm like kind of like that I'm already pretty. So I was like, let me see how let me like raise my confidence and just like actually try it because why not? I only have one life to live. So As shallow as that may
Fair.
sound, like, you know, most men want to impress another guy, not a pretty woman. A woman can give them that release they need, but they crave the love and acceptance from men. Hmm. Social status.
It's interesting.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I like
Mm.
this. How did you deduce
Mm-hmm.
that men want
Mm-hmm.
attention from other men? I'm kind of curious, Gil.
I
And
can see that too. I can see that too.
okay, do you? I want to hear your opinion, Ron, or your answer.
Okay. Well, um, I'm going to take my neighbor for an example. And, me and him, we were talking one day, and he was saying that his wife had lost a lot of weight, and it's been very noticeable, very noticeable.
Okay, good for her.
And he was like, I know my wife is beautiful and everything else. And oh, Gil, funny. So he was like, you know, I know that my wife is beautiful and everything else, and even with her losing weight and everything else, she just looks even more amazing. And like, and he was saying that he wants to get to this point where it's not the fact that he sees her beauty, but like other men see her beauty, and it's like it's almost in a weird way like an ego thing, where
Hmm.
it's like, okay, I know I have a very beautiful woman on my side, and there's really no one that can compare to her, and there's really no one that can compete with her because I already got her,
Hmm.
and so it's just one of those things where he was like, yeah, he's like, I just want men to come up to me and say, hey, you got a beautiful wife and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, dude, like, yeah, she is gorgeous, like, drop dead gorgeous, like, yes.
Okay.
you know that's not even like no harm to trying to stab you in the back, but just giving your wife her props and giving you your flowers. Like, yeah, she is very beautiful,
Hmm.
very gorgeous indeed. And it's like, you know, some days you almost want to be careful because you don't want to attract the wrong group of men towards your wife, because they're going to do some stuff that could ruin the both of you guys' relationship, and it's not going to look good,
Hmm.
you know. But and again, that's just me and everything else.
Okay. Okay. Because like I definitely get it. Like 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 one of the shallow reasons why I still try to continue to work out and get back into it and things like that is
Mm-hmm.
you know I want to continue looking good. I like looking good. I like the attention I receive. And also, for shallow reasons that I know my boyfriend
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't care about at all, it's just like, yeah, I want to look good on his arm. I'm not like, my boyfriend's a good looking guy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't feel like intimidated by his looks like at all. But it's just like, yeah, like I think it would just be fun for me personally. I don't know if it's just like fun, and people say, "Hey, this is my girlfriend," and it's, girlfriend is gorgeous. So, it's like I don't want to, like I don't want him to like look bad. I mean, I don't want to look bad and then like he looks bad. Like I don't want to just be dressed any kind of way and just looking, kind of sloppy. Mm, was ingrained in culture. But yeah. like it's a shallow thing, but like I definitely get it. But I didn't know like that, like that's something that guys want. That like, yeah, I want other men to come up to me and be like, yeah, your wife is beautiful, or your wife is gorgeous. Like I didn't know that. I gotta ask my boyfriend if anyone said that to him about me. They better.
That's hilarious. But
Jeez,
you know what? But even then, just to kind of
That's interesting.
but even just to even then, just to kind of add on to that, I think for not say all women, but for most women, and especially when they go and find a mate, a lot of times, they want someone that is just as attractive as they are,
Mm-hmm.
and just to kind of just to kind of lay claims like, yeah, this is my boyfriend, or this is my spouse, and or this is my significant other, yada yada yada. And it's like, I know you look at him and he's attractive. I know he's attractive, but you can't touch him. You can look at it. You can look at him all you want to, but the moment you try to touch him, you might get cut right then and there. And I'm just going to fling my hair and walk about my merry way as you bleed profusely out of the place where I cut you at, and just keep it moving. Like, you crossed the line, you got dealt with. Just
Yeah.
saying.
I mean, honestly, like I wouldn't really be like I'd find it flattering if like a girl was really trying to pursue my boyfriend, because like I know he wouldn't. So it's just kind of like it's like, yeah, go for it, try, lady, why not? If you have time to waste, go for it. But yeah, no, it's like but yeah, no, I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't like waste my time trying to like fight another woman. Like I'd be like, yo, babe, that's up to you and her. You gotta figure that crap out. Like, you gotta deal with that. Like, the one thing that I learned from like
Oh man.
Interesting.
poly friends, people who are into non-monogamy, is like, yeah, it's between you and her. And figure that out. I ain't got nothing to do with it. They're stirring the pot.
Interesting.
True. But like the food tastes better when you stir the pot though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh man. You know
speaking of
what? You
oh,
know what? I can see. I'm gonna say this much, and then I'm gonna back out. Like, I can see Elle with the little chef hat, and she just stirring the pot. She's start laughing like, hey, 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 it's gonna get real good. It just keep laughing and stir the pot and just looking like, yeah, go ahead, go ahead,
Yeah,
go
go
ahead, do, do as you must.
ahead. Yeah, no, it's yeah. I don't know. I feel like I am too old to just try to be like finding a woman's number and calling her. It's like, is this Jasmine? Well, I'll have you know, he's take like, no, what the hell? What am I doing? Like, I got other things to do. Like, I just downloaded another game. Like, I got things to do.
Oh man, that's hilarious. I love it.
it's
It's
interesting.
just
That's such a funny word.
communication key.
Yeah.
Yep, communication is the key for everything.
Hmm.
For communication and comprehension.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For everything else, there's hollows.
Mm-hmm.
Hollows.
Hmm.
You start the fight. Like
For everything else, there's hollows.
Elston's.
AKA legend.
Actually, Hollows with yeah, yeah, child. Yeah, that's a whole. Like I actually, I think I didn't because I there was an article that came out. It actually came out in December, November, but I just saw it on like Apple News notification last week or two about like unethical monogamy or God, ethical non-monogamy. Yikes,
Yeah.
not unethical, ethical non-monogamy, and how like it's a big thing. Oh, Apple. I was like, journal most likely, but some like pretty major newspaper. I was like, oh, this is actually kind of interesting the way it's getting covered. And then I've always heard of poly. I've heard of not like ethical non-monogamy, but I had like not really fully realized separate from an open relationship or an open marriage where that is more so that you are with one person and then you explore other things kind of unintimately
Yeah.
or not unintimately but like maybe you're unserious about your other flings, but ethical non-monogamy seems to be much more like everyone's just partnering around. Like it's not even like I mean maybe you have a core partnership that you do start with, but it could very much not be that versus like an open relationship where you are in a relationship and you open up or you get into it. So I don't know. I think like I think that blew my mind that I was like, oh my God, this is even a bigger level than the open
Mm.
relationship. Um, thing. Um, big own community, but it really
Okay, looks like we're live again. I'm sorry. I don't know if my internet's acting up.
Hmm.
Cause like it was getting really
Mm.
like I wasn't sure if like it was like whose connection. Like Toby was starting to sound kind of weird. Ron was starting to sound kind of weird, so it's probably my connection. Sometimes I'm looking
Mm.
at it live on my phone, so I'm like, looks like I'm moving. Looks like I'm fine. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know if anyone's still watching, but yeah.
yeah. And I think I
Whew.
saw a complicated way of saying that someone's single. Oh, that's interesting. Oops. Yeah, I mean, poly slash open stuff. It definitely takes a lot of understanding, and it is definitely not simple. I should put it that way. It can be between the people doing it, but it's very different to the outside world. That was my phone. I didn't even realize that there was a lag though. To your point, L, like because I was talking, and there are definitely times where everything does freeze, and it's very clear. In this case, I really hadn't noticed, so I was like, "Huh, that was boom, unexpected." But I was really just saying, Rocky, like kind of the people's friend group keeping themselves single is interesting because you hear about that like single people are not the ones you should talk about when you're trying to talk to someone because they'll hold you down. There's like the stereotype, men might just give stupid advice, like from like just movies where men are just saying stupid things to other men,
Mm.
particularly if someone's in a relationship. And then women, there's more of the stereotype of like bitterness and just like people who are trying to like people who are single and lonely keeping their friends who want to date single and lonely. So I feel like it can be different stereotypes for men and women. So it's interesting that you kind of said like generally friend groups keep each other single. And Gail's point about like he lost friends because being married, and I'm like, what in the world? Like, who has time? Like, do people? I don't know. People I feel like should would easily understand like you have a whole partner, even if you don't have kids, you still have a household. That like even like for taxes for nothing else, like you're filing a different tax status. Like, come on, you're not gonna give your married friends grace. I don't know. I just that's just
Yeah.
that's actually kind of ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but it's probably for the best that they're not there. Um,
Uh,
so just random thoughts that I was commenting on. as I read the
Yeah.
chat.
No, that's a good point, Toby. Like I didn't really make that. I guess that contradictory connection earlier. Um, like Rocky, when you said like friend groups are keeping people single, is it that like that's the point of the friend group to because like there are sometimes people who are like oh they all swear to just be single for like a year or two or something and just focus on themselves. If that's the point of the friend group, or is it more so like these friends are just not ideal and they're keeping some of their
Mm,
friends like single, like or like they might be jealous or they're trying to like get in the way of things and things like that. Um, so yeah, I was just trying to understand and clear up like what that means, or if they're just like a group of sad people or just like toxic people, and they just are not unknowing. They're just unknowingly keeping
mm.
themselves single.
That would be an interesting train of thought. Seriously,
Yeah, just want
a
to,
very
yeah, no, because friendship is another thing that I'm passionate about, like just friendships and meeting people,
yes.
because that's
Mm-mm.
direly important.
Mm-hmm.
These friend groups
Yes.
promote behavior that either keeps them single or puts relationships in jeopardy. Okay.
I can
Promotes
see that.
behavior.
I can see that.
That second one is actually funny. Like the
I
first
can see.
one, yeah, it makes sense. People just keep themselves single and just whatever. But promote, but put relationship in jeopardy is wild. Like you have a whole relationship, and then you have a friend group that just promotes and encourages, like it encourages behavior. Like what does that even mean? I'm not, like it's actually sad, but it's like kind of funny. It's like, ooh, what kind of friends are these? Like, what's that term? Like with friends like these, it's like who needs like a relationship sabotager, saboteur? Who needs an enemy of your relationship? You just have friends that can be worse.
It's
That's
true.
actually
That's when
terrible.
they get
Yeah.
no. They'll be get dubbed as frenemies.
Mm. Those are my friends. Yeah, I think my friends are pretty good overall. Especially like friends I've been meeting lately. Like I think overall are good people. Everyone has their quirks, everyone has their things, but like granted, I don't have like I don't know. I haven't necessarily had friends that I think promote these bad things. That I'm like, well, I've had people who I definitely think I had to keep in the acquaintance bucket because there was some pretty nasty like tendencies of like, oof, I don't think this is the best environment or the best thing that's being promoted. So I had to keep some distance, um, especially in the pandemic
Mhm.
when I people got real close with each other.
Mm.
Um, but any case, different topic.
Yeah. I do think like um I guess I do like the I am interested in the topic of like friend groups and friendships like that. I know that we've
Mhm.
touched on it a
That's
bit. We touched on it before, but that's definitely something I want to be down to talk about again. But it is way past our stream bedtime, though. My friends have tried to not how to transition from more to more married. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I feel like that's just sort of like the natural course of things.
Mhm.
Like it's weird being in a relationship because like I've been single pretty much like my whole life. So it's weird like
mm,
being in a relationship where it's like okay, now I have like couple friends. Like I've always had friends who were couples, but now it's like oh okay, this is This is what I do now.
Mm.
Not funny. Yeah, that's not funny. That's really not funny. That's especially
That's
if
the best
you
joke to me.
especially if you weren't in
Jesus
on the
Christ.
joke. And like this is like the first time you're meeting Gil's wife. That's insanity. That's an insane joke.
Yeah,
You know,
that
like,
is insanity. Yeah, my internet is struggling anyway. Chad, thank you for being here.
Yes.
yeah, no, we're right behind you,
Yes.
Chad.
What Gil said.
Yeah, I think friend
What
groups
Gil
are
said.
important, but
Yes.
absolutely, absolutely. That's because your friend groups are gonna hopefully last you, for like when you and your spouse start having kids, if you choose to. Um,
Hmm.
like yeah, Australia. Yeah, good night. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like when you start having kids, let me start putting this up. When you guys are, yeah, just like moving, like you're gonna try to hope that your family, I mean, like your friends who you choose, are growing up with you alongside you. Like,
That's right.
sounds like someone should keep their day job because doing jokes definitely isn't working for them. No. Yeah, night, Jed. But
Night, night,
Night.
night.
yes. Also, good night, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been
Yeah.
absolutely lovely being with you all tonight, as it always is.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
guys, congratulations to you all because y'all were voted sexiest chat on YouTube.
Oh,
Best looking, sexy, just thirst trapping chat that we got here. It's
Yes.
fantastic. Y'all
I
should give
love it.
yourselves a pat on the back or a pat on the butt.
Yes.
Yes. For those who are lurking, definitely join our Discord. I'll send y'all the link, the link skis, put it in the chat here so you can join us. So, it won't be just, so 2 weeks won't feel too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, chat with us in the Discord. It's always great. It's always a vibe.
Yes.
And
please, please, please.
yes. And with that, y'all have a great night, and we'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Good night.
Night.
Night.